We'll see if this works. I'm not 100% sure if I can do it without having the full access, but we'll see. But thank you guys for jumping in, joining in on the call. I know it was last minute as far as the time goes. Since we are moving, our time is all crazy and screwed up. So thank you guys for jumping on it. An importance for really being on the Zoom is about really the team. Like, as we are trying to conserve our team's times, we are using Zooms versus having like in-person at Offit team meetings for now. Obviously, as we grow, we will need to have the trainings at Offit, but for the time being, we'll use Zoom just to be able to allow us to have some additional time and be able to utilize the weekend to build our business and to do those things that we're looking to do. So it's important to have people on the Zoom, to have our coaches on the Zoom, because this is how we're going to connect as a team until we are at that point where there is no choice but to have those trainings at Offit. All right. So really quick, obviously the Zoom today is going to be about the new 3-day challenge that we're rolling out. It'll start on the 14th. All right. And so that'll give us a strong 2 weeks of inviting to it. And the reason we give 2 weeks is because of the opportunity of getting people that are not local onto the challenge. So obviously you need some ramp up time to be able to send them a message, to set up a phone call, get the payment information, and then obviously have them actually receive the package on time, which is a big deal. So that's why we run it a little bit early. Now, some of the results from the last challenge. Who had challengers in the last challenge? All right. And Gabby, I'll ask you first. How many challengers did you have in the challenge?
I had 4. I had 4.
And how many of those 4 turned into retail clients already?
2. And actually, I'm anticipating the other 2. They're a married couple, and I had a wellness profile set up with them yesterday, but their daughter got in a car accident right before I was headed to their house, so that got put on hold. Obviously.
So right now you have 2 retail clients from it.
Yes, and potentially 2 more. So I'm not finished out doing that.
For this conversation, you have 2 retail.
I have 2. Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. And then GOG, how many people did you have in the challenge? You're on mute.
I had 8 in the challenge, and 2 have converted so far to full retail clients.
Okay, perfect. So the big key of it is results of the challenge. I had 6 challengers, and 3 have converted into retail clients, and a couple more have said that they're going to pay next week at the end of the week. So the results of the challenge happen. Like, there's going to be people that get started right away, and there's going to get people that get started a little bit down the line for whatever circumstance. But the key to it is that when people walk away from this challenge, they walk away knowing that this is what I need. This is what I want. I want to be around this community. I want to be around what we're doing here. And that's what creates the value for people. You don't even have to create value for people anymore. All right. That's what's huge, is the value gets created in that 3-day challenge. Then we still do the wellness profile for people so that they understand what's required of them as a client. The wellness profile is no longer really about a sales call anymore. It's about, here's what is required of you to be my client. These are the things that I'm requiring of you to take on to be a client. And when we hold that posture with people, people recognize, like, okay, this is what I've been looking for. Because people, in the back of their minds, they know how to get healthy. What they don't know is they don't have direction, they don't have support, they don't have guidance, and they don't have accountability. And those are the things that people are looking for. And a lot of times they don't have a plan. So that's what we're giving people. And the 3-day challenge is what really starts to create that. And it shows people like, oh, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm needing. So that's what's really big. And, you know, the structure becomes really simple. What I'll tell you is by making sure you do the 10 messages a day, it creates not only, obviously, you get people learning what you do, which is huge, but it starts to create momentum. It starts to create the momentum where people start just feeding off of your energy of doing work every day starts to bring other people in. I had a guy we did, I had 16 people actually say yes to the challenge. And out of those 16, 7 people did everything they were supposed to do. So I had 10 people do the call, and I had 3 people flake on meeting to exchange the money. The 7th guy actually was like, you know what you're talking about sounds awesome, but I don't want to do the 3-day and tease myself. I want to do a full 30-day. And so and then he was like, I actually want to sit down with you, get the plan in face to face so that I can commit myself to you face to face. And I was like, that's perfect. So he's coming next Saturday. So that is also what can happen from that phone call is when you explain what we do in the challenge, sometimes people are like, you know what, I don't want the challenge. Like, I want the result now. Like, can I just do the plan? And it's like, absolutely, you don't have to do the challenge. If you just want to do the plan and you're just all in, you're ready to get the results, you don't need that setup, that's perfect. Like, that's why the phone call is so huge. That's why we don't just keep sending messages back and forth to people. It's like, once they say yes, it's perfect. Let's set up a time, get on the phone, and we can review what the challenge is. And we're not doing a full wellness profile unless they say, I don't want to do the challenge. I want to do the 30-day plan. Then obviously you're just adjusting it to a wellness profile. But in that phone conversation, when they say yes to doing the 3-day challenge, it's just, hey, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have shakes for 3 days. You're going to have a meal plan. You're going to be in a group. I'm asking you to play full out. I'm asking you to give your best and to follow the plan as closely as possible. And I'm looking for you to give me feedback each day on the side as to how you're feeling, what you're going through, what you're struggling with, what successes you have. And if you can do those 3 things, you're going to see exactly what it looks like to be my client. And you're going to know right away if this is something that you're serious and ready to do. And the whole conversation is not like, hey, you're going to try this out and see if you like Herbalife and see if you like me. It's no, like, this is going to show you what it looks like to be my client and if you're ready to be my client. And a lot of it is posture and verbiage. And then if you don't like to use the word clients, you can absolutely say, this is what it's going to look like to be my accountability partner, to work with me. Like, I'm looking for somebody that can keep me accountable and I can do the same for them and we can get our goals together. But it's still the conversation of you're doing this to get started on the 30-day plan. And when you take that posture, when you wrap up the call, so I usually will tell them, instead of calling it a wellness profile, a lot of times I'll say, we're going to wrap up the call. We're going to wrap up the challenge and talk about what's next for you. Because if I say wellness profile, they typically don't understand. So now they're wondering what a wellness profile is. But if I say we're wrapping up the challenge and we're talking about what's next for you, it just makes sense to people. Sometimes we get into our own Herbalife verbiage and jargon and we lose other people. They're still stuck like, well, I don't know what a wellness profile is, so what is that? And then they're asking all these questions versus just telling them, like, we're wrapping up the challenge. We're talking about what's next, which is exactly what we're doing. All right. So sending the message, obviously huge, sending 10 plus messages a day and sending it to everyone. The huge key that I would say is make sure you send it to everyone and don't prejudge anybody, because a lot of times the people you think that'll say yes don't say yes, and the people you think that'll say no actually say yes. Happened to one of my guys, Andy. I thought he would say no because he's known what I've done for 3 years or 2.5 years, but this was his time. Like, he lost 10 pounds in the challenge and he starts his plan tomorrow morning. Like, you just never know. So don't prejudge anyone. The only people you don't send a message to, obviously, is somebody that's been on Herbalife with you, or someone that's really, or obviously if they're on the plan or they're already a member, like, you're not going to send a message to them. But if they're not on Herbalife or haven't done Herbalife with one of us or someone in our sideline, then send the message to them. See what happens. Worst case, they say no, thank you. It is what it is. But make sure you're opening up that door to let people know what you do, because then they start to think about you when they are ready to change their life, when they are ready to change their mindset. And and then obviously after the phone call, let me backtrack, is making sure you get payment and sending the trial pack. So getting payment, my number one go-to is to have them meet me at Offit, because I want them to see Offit. I want them to see the other side of things. So that's my number one go-to. Can you meet me between 5 and 7, Monday through Thursday, or Saturday between 9 or 10? Yes or no? Perfect. If not, then we can set up another time. If they're not local, obviously I send them a Square invoice for $25. They pay the invoice, and then I ship them the pack. And I always tell them, hey, it's only good for today. Like, make sure that you pay the invoice, because you need to pay it so that I can send you the package. All right. And then once you ship it out to them, big keys are making sure they download Voxer before the Sunday before the challenge. What I would recommend is anybody you get on the challenge that has paid their $20, as soon as they have their pack, they should download Voxer, and you should start communicating with them through Voxer. Get them used to being on Voxer, get them used to seeing messages and checking them, and also set them up so that they can turn off their notifications. Because most people are going to need to turn off their notifications because it starts going crazy. We had 37 people in the last challenge, and we had people like just dropping out of the challenge. Like, yo, I didn't know how to turn off my settings, so I just had to shut down the whole system because I just couldn't have my phone beeping anymore. So those are big things for setup, because any little hitch can give people a bad experience. But if you set them up properly and you're like, hey, turn off your settings. If you want to turn your notifications on once you're in the challenge, do it. But I recommend just turning off your Voxer notifications and just checking your Voxer periodically for when I send you a message. And once you get them there, I mean, you guys saw the challenge, you saw what it does, and you saw the community. For those that were in the challenge, you saw the community, the relationships that were built. So continuing to post the daily action, 10 messages a day, every day, it'll be about 10 days for out of state and 12 days for local. And then what I would also challenge each and every person to do is do some type of personal development every day. So there's something magical when we're doing action and we're growing at the same time. That creates another energy that starts to attract people to us. So I would challenge us, if you're not doing personal development of some kind every day, to do some type of personal development every single day, preferably in the morning before you get your day started, before you send your messages, but whenever you can get it done, just to add another step to something else that you're doing every day and creating consistency in yourself. Now, anybody have questions, concerns, any hesitations about sending out the messages or who you're sending out the messages to? Nope, we're all good. All right, perfect. So then here is another piece. And for those that have had challengers in the challenge, I would highly recommend inviting your challengers that were in the last challenge to invite people for you. They had a great experience. Say, hey, I'm running another challenge. Who could you invite to this challenge that you feel would want to do it, that you feel could grow from this experience? Get me their information, or introduce it to them, then get them over to me so that I could set up a time to talk to them and set it up. Because you'll be surprised at how many people they'll actually bring. And what happens in that process is a sandwich effect, especially for a person that's not on the plan. So someone that doesn't get started on the plan but brings somebody else into the challenge, somehow is like, it's that thought of, I can't miss out. Oh, they can't start getting results without me. I need to get on this plan so that I'm ready for them. And it just creates that sandwich effect. And they typically end up staying because they don't want their friend to outdo them. They don't want their friend to beat them. The other thing I would highly recommend is on that phone call with the person that says yes, invite them to challenge 2 people to come with them, so that we start creating a bigger circle. Because what happens is when they say yes and they're excited, their invitation is stronger than yours, because they're excited to do something different. And so they're like, absolutely, I want someone that I know to do it with me. And they'll be the first people to reach out and bring other people with them. So it's a huge deal if you can get people to bring other people. When you can get a group of people together that all want to do it together, first of all, it makes it so much easier. We've all had accountability partners. And when you have a good accountability partner, it makes it that much easier. Like, you know, there's someone doing it with you. You know for sure you're not alone. So that is a huge piece that we're able to take advantage of, is helping people how to invite other people. All right. And that will be a perfect piece of bringing people together. And what I want to help people to think about in the mindset of it all is, the goal of everything we do is impact and change lives. All right. So we're not sending out messages for 3-day challengers to find our next Prez team member. All right. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but that's not the focus. Like, our focus is to help someone change their life. Now, they might want the business side of things and might want to learn it on that end. They may first off want to see just a health result and learn it on that end. But if we keep our minds on impacting and changing lives, and every person that joins the challenge, we treat like they're a client, when they get done with the challenge, I guarantee they will be clients. When we take care of people and we look out for their best interest, our best interest gets taken care of. But it's really huge that we first take care of them. Like, my belief is that God brought them to us so that we could take care of them and do what we were supposed to do, what we've been given to hand them, but we have to take care of them. We have to make sure they're taken care of. We got to make sure they're set up, because when they're set up properly, they know right away that this is the best stuff on earth. They know that we have the best plan. They know that we have the best people, and they're all in. Like, I saw the challengers talking, and they were watching the videos. Everybody was talking about their results. Like, people don't talk about their weight loss. Most of them didn't talk about it outside their challenge. So think about this. People were talking about their results, posting their scale weight in a group of strangers, and they wouldn't ever do it like on Facebook, because we create an energy that people feel comfortable. Like, so I want to make sure that we're very clear that we're creating a culture of people that they're like, man, this is the group that I want to be a part of. And I see the new client posts popping up, and that's the type of impact we start to have. And the next thing you know, we start showing more results photos, because these people already know, especially the challengers, because most of them lose 2 to 3 pounds. So they're like, I already know it works. So they have belief. when you set people up already believing, and you keep the trail going and keep helping people work on their mindset and keep having people just believe in what we do and giving them great follow-up, like, it creates a huge momentum shift in each and every one of our businesses by impacting people's lives and getting them the results that they're actually looking for. So that's really all I had on the challenge. I know there's a couple of people. I know Nicole, I just realized she messaged me and she couldn't get on it. So I should be able to send it to her, and somebody else sent something. I don't know who it was. I can't find it. But I'll send it to them and figure out if I can send them this recording here. But does anybody have any questions, any comments, any feedback, anything they want to add to it?
Only thing I want to add is that I think it went pretty awesome. 30-some people in the box. I had 2 people that were participating, but they were outside of the box. I had about 14 people say yes. 8 actually paid their money. I had 1 that paid their money but wasn't able to do the challenge. So they're gonna hang on to the next one, which is cool. But they've been to All Fit, so I'm still inviting them to come back to be a part of the community and experience a couple more boot camps before the next 3-day challenge. There's just a whole bunch of new action just pops up from it. So I'm totally excited about the next one.
Me too. I will say that, because I've run a couple of these challenges before with a small amount of success, but this time, I don't know, the energy, maybe the way we all set it up with each other first, creating that foundation that you were talking about, boy, it took off like a rocket. And just staying in action, doing the 10 messages a day, I got so much response from it. And it's so funny that you picked the 14, because there's actually somebody who signed up, and while I was setting her up, she had brought friends with her, and they're like, wait a minute, I want to do this. Wait a minute. And they're like, and I was like, let's do it. And they said, well, I don't have my money right now. And then they decided that, oh, you know what? Let's hold off and let's do one of our own. Let's get all of our friends together and do it together. And the funny thing is the day that we picked is the 14th. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to just plug these girls into the big one. It'll be awesome. I already talked to them about it, and we're already talking about having a setup party at their house. It's a girl whose sister's getting married, and all the bridesmaids and they all want to do this. So we're going to have like a setup party at her house. Right. And so that was just that energy. That was the energy that was brought by everybody, like texting us, I got my 10 today, I got 20 today, I got 15, whatever. And then the energy that was in the actual challenge boxer was off the hook. I couldn't believe these people. I was like, oh my gosh, everybody was so pumped. And, they were just so ready. And I think it's because we were ready, that we were laying this foundation. We had a Zoom call just like this at time. It just felt so different. It just felt so good. It felt so synergistically good. So I just had to throw that in there.
And one of the things that was that I thought was cool was when the Voxer started just blowing up that Sunday, and everybody is just getting all these messages. The challengers, some of them were looking at it as a negative. This is crazy. My phone's going crazy. I was like, and it was so easy to just turn that into a positive and say, man, isn't it awesome though? Look at all these people that are doing the exact same thing, trying to get the same result. We're all locking arms. We're pulling together. When was the last time you had, this much excitement around, doing something together? I said, you probably work with about this many people on your job, and nobody's excited like that. I said, I said, it's awesome, isn't it? And they're like, you know what? It is cool. So I was able to turn the negative, man, my phone's going crazy, into, hey man, this is something unique. This is something special. And like you were saying, Ray, we just have to get ahead of that and be in front of, all the activity and let them know, hey, You can turn off your notifications, you know, turn them silent, whatever, so it doesn't become, you know, this negative thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. And I think one of the other huge things that comes from this is that people see how easy it is. And some of these same people that were in that our first like real team challenge where we actually put structure and everything behind it could very soon be helping other people and inviting new people to the challenge and feeling like I could do that piece, like that's easy, I could do that. And so I think that's another huge piece, is that we create something that anybody can do. Anybody can send 10 messages a day, set up a phone call, explain it, and then just plug them into the challenge and then talk to them about it afterwards. Like, sometimes other pieces of our business are difficult, but and the goal is to really keep this going until it gets too big and we have to break up into our own. But even when we get to break up into our own, we all know how to do it. We know how to set up a Zoom. We know how to set up the structure. I have it now in my phone where all the steps are in the phone. So if Gabby's like, hey, I'm running one, here's the setup. Here's the conversation. Here's the wellness here's the wellness profile videos. Here's the message we send out. This is what we do, so that now we can pass that structure along and anybody can do it once they see it done a couple of times. So that was another piece of what we're doing, is to be able to duplicate it at a simpler means, to make it simple where anybody, people that are super busy or people that are super open, can still do it. So that's some of the thought process behind it, is for us to be able to have people that are just excited to help other people because they feel great. They're excited about it. And when when you're excited about it, you start telling people how excited you are. So that's really the key, and just continuing to stay excited about it. And then remembering on this challenge, like, the excitement's not just going to happen. It's again going to come from us being excited, from us posting that we sent our 10 messages starting tomorrow or tonight. I'll post up the messages. We'll do it the same exact way so that anyone that jumps in can just take it and plug and play versus having to look for it. So I'll post it all up. We'll all have access to it. And then we get to just have fun with it, invite people, change lives, and, see who wants to come along with us on the journey. All right. Any other questions, concerns? Got my girl Casey yawning over there in the corner.
Sorry.
Fresh off of work. That's all right. I see the name tag.
Yeah.
Just another quick share. Just today, I posted the results of a 3-day challenger that converted, and 2 people today that said no to the challenge messaged me asking when's the next one.
Yep. Social proof. Sometimes people don't believe it until they see somebody else do it.
Yep.
That's why we post up like accepted challenge. That's why we post up like the results. New client, and when you have new clients and you're posting on social media, it's huge to recognize that they were in the challenge and then they became a client, because a lot of people say, oh, when's the next, like Greg said, when's the next one? I want to do it. Like, it creates like, oh, that challenge he invited me to got this person I already knew. Oh, I want to do that too. So that's huge. I'm actually going to post mine tomorrow for my 3 clients that are starting. And we'll just keep flowing, keep going off the energy. Remember, keep sending those 10 pictures. We'll keep celebrating it on Aspire for Awesome, and just keep going. But we're going to get kicked off the chat here soon. So I'll post up this recording in Aspire for Awesome. I'll post up the messages after that. Is anybody on their phone that can take a screenshot? Screenshots always work a little better. Everybody's getting prepped up.
Yep.
I'm gonna do it.
Looks like Gab got the pick.
We don't know if you took it or not. You're on mute, so we can't hear you.
All right. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Here we go. 1, 2. Wait, dang, hold on. I'm getting messages. There we go. Wait, my Voxer. There we go. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, got it. I'll post it on.
I'm gonna stop the recording.